Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is Love is Blind Clues, and we're about to recap Love is Blind Season 9, Episodes 7, 8, and 9. Before we begin, I think we have to just address, kind of generally speaking, this season of this show. I think it's the worst season
ever.
Oh, well, wow. Ooh. We have exactly opposing viewpoints on this. It may not be the worst season. They've had some stinkers in the past. There was one where they only had 3 people going to the altar, and I believe one of those couples dissolved in the honeymoon or the apartment phase or something. So at least they have, more couples going to the altar than that, or at least in this phase of the game still.
Yeah, we'll see.
Here is, in my opinion, the biggest problem with this season and why it's so bad. No one is likable. None of these players, at least for me, are generating that impulse for me to want to see them happy and together. I want all of them to break up for their own sakes so that they may pursue happiness in their lives outside of these manufactured relationships. But, many of the players here have said things that are homophobic or body shaming. So that makes it almost impossible to get on board with those people specifically, or those couples if they have, had similar ideas on some of these topics. It's just ultimately, I think, a bad job at casting. And I don't know why it's gotten this bad, but there's just no one on this show at this point that is really likable, I think.
I don't even know who they're trying to make us like. I guess Jordan and Megan Sparkles. Like, they don't even... But then they show him making that disgusting food.
Right. They show him making a broiled chicken and Crystal Light smoothie. And you also get the sense, and you've always gotten this from Megan Sparkle, she is very materialistic. She is very into money. And I'm not saying that makes a person bad necessarily, but in terms of a character narratively, it can make them difficult to identify with if you are not a person who also has that amount of money or that predilection for the nicer things in life. And most people are not that. So if you're just at home watching this, you're like, fuck her. I can't buy a $2.5 million mansion.
Why? Yeah, 6-bedroom house for 2 people.
Yeah, and if you can't identify with anyone in the show, how will you root for them? Just my 2 cents.
I do like Sparkles, but I'm not saying in the same way.
Yeah, there are many of these players that are entertaining. I'm not saying that is the case. I think Allie is entertaining. Megan Sparkle, and by the way, how did she not? No, I like right
sparkles, there? Like glitter.
Oh, not Sparkle Megan.
Yeah,
I see.
How does I don't know who not see it right there? Allie?
No. How did Sparkle Megan not see that her nickname should have been Megan Sparkle? I don't get that. That makes me dislike her as well. She didn't see the obvious joke. No, I'm just saying there are many of these characters that are kind of fun to watch, but I find myself rooting for their demise. I want to see explosive arguments and things like this. And there is not one of these couples, not like a Brett Brown and Tiffany Pennywell from their season. They were kind of like, in my mind, a quintessential A couple, or even Lauren Speed and Cameron Hamilton Speed, whatever. I don't remember his last name, but even that couple from season 1 kind of like laid the blueprint, you wanted them to be together. You're like, oh, they're cute. I believe this is real. Not only do I believe almost none of these relationships are actual, I don't think I have no personal investment in like seeing them succeed. In fact, I'm wanting the opposite. And that is because of the casting. It's because of the editing. It's how they're showing this. If you wanted one of these couples to be an A couple, don't show them having a homophobic conversation. That's rule number 1, I think. But it's in there,
I mean, they are literally... They don't want them to be the A couple. They are giving him such a villain edit and fool edit, having him, I'm a size queen, etc. Yeah. Like, they don't seem to be protecting anyone. So I'm like, I guess they're just like, whatever this season. It's a dud.
Just blazing it off. I've been reading a little bit that, from my understanding, there are two production teams of Love is Blind. They shoot seasons back to back. Each team does one season. So it may be that the team that does the seasons that air now in the fall is maybe the worst team. I don't know, between the two. Because it always seems like that February season is like a banger almost every time. There's wild shit going on. You have a villain, you have an A couple, you have triangles, you have all this shit. Even in this season, well, let's just get into this. We're kind of skipping around. Let's go by order here. Episode 7 started out with Joe and Madison. It was we ended on a cliffhanger of him being, in quotes, too drunk at the party. There's a lot of conjecture online that it might not have just been alcohol, but some other intoxicants in his system causing this reaction. Nonetheless, we open with them. Madison is sitting by herself with a drink on the patio, silently sobbing, and he's laughing under the covers. He wakes up and he's like, I can hear you crying. And she's like, can you come check on me? He gets annoyed by this. She walks through the room and says, this is so embarrassing. She's producing tears in her ITM about not being able to win right now. She gets ready for bed, gets into bed with him, and he gets up and gets out of bed and asks if they got dinner at all. And she's like, I was crying all night. I was embarrassed. And he's like, why are you embarrassed? And they keep kind of going back and forth. He doesn't understand it. He's laughing at her still. And he goes, I can't believe you're doing this right now. And she's like, me, I'm doing this. She storms out of the room and goes to sleep in another room. And he ITM's having no clue what went on. And we see the last shot we see of this little intro is her crying in the hallway, sobbing. And again, I'm like, we're supposed to want these people to be together?
No. I want them to break up as soon as possible.
Absolutely. She got to get out of there.
We then see KB forgives Edmund for their conversation in which he was like, how can you not sleep with me before marriage? We see...
Are we skipping past the other two conversations there?
Go for it.
I'm just curious. If there's nothing of importance in there, I'm good to skip it as well.
I just wrote what I thought was important, but
okay.
Go for it.
No, it's minimal type shit. I'm just saying, in terms of like screen time, we do get a little bit of Ellie and Anton here flirting. They're sitting in some swinging chairs and like he's talking about her makeup. And then we get some Jordan and Megan screen time here where he was joking about hanging out with Nick and was it that bad? And she kind of laughs off the night before. And he says Joe and Madison are a power couple, and she laughs and is like, no, they're not. And she's like, you basically were having too much fun for the guy. So they're trying to kind of crowbar in this idea that if Megan, Sparkle, or Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan are going to have a problem, it's about him being too bro-y with his buddies. Then we get to this KB thing where they're eating pizza.
The pizza did look really good.
Yeah.
KB is forgiving Edmund for this conversation in which he said, like, I can't get married without banging. And started crying that he's always too much of a nice guy. We see Nick and Annie. They appear to be smooth sailing. I can't believe that this couple seems to be the ones that are the most smooth sailing of anyone. And then we come back to Joe and Madison. Madison is like, I missed you. Love level 4. Love level 4s are back. They're kissing. So.
Yeah, this is like wild to me. I don't understand that relationship exactly. And as we always say on the show, we're not seeing everything. This is all edited footage, whatever, to make us think this or that or whatever. But that makes it almost even worse to me this season, that it's like you had a year and a half to cut this thing together and put together whatever kind of document you wanted. And this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Especially with this relationship. I don't get it. He's out of his mind, in quotes, drunk. He's already said these things to her that have made her insecure about her body. And now they're just like, oh, no big deal. Ha ha ha. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And so like, what is the show presenting to us? Is this
confusion?
Yes, that is exactly correct. That's what it is. I'm confused this whole season.
I'm so confused. And it's like, you kind of need a moment where Joe is like actually being nice to Madison to like understand why she keeps staying in this. I guess she says that the sex is, she likes the sex. I don't know. We get another group hang, but not as much happens at this one. The girls and guys catch each other up. Annie needs more affirmation from Nick. And she says, I don't need you to him. I want you. I don't. She seems to be saying lines out of a romantic comedy that she's writing in her head. But
it's also like, this is. I took that to mean she's essentially saying, I'm making the choice to be with you. And her entire game really has been about trying to make herself be in the driver's seat, and it's always on someone else. Like when she dumped Brendan, it was a hardcore, you didn't fight hard enough for me. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm here telling you I love you and want to marry. No, this is on you. It's your fault. And that's what I mean. It's like she's in a movie or something. Well, she's on a TV show.
Exactly. Just saying like romantic comedy lines.
She knows she's on a TV show. And she's constantly trying to pivot herself into a victim edit, or in this case, like power position edit. I just think she's unfortunately a bad player. I don't think she can carry either of these things off. And anytime she tries to do it, it kicks her in another direction where I'm like, what in the fuck are you doing? And we'll see it when they do the group meetup. She kind of double hits it again with Brennan. But nonetheless, Nick and Annie do love level 4 each other here. The wedding is like on track, but he is saying, I need these weeks to get ready for the wedding. He's not where she is yet. She's not happy about this. They play some ominous horror score, like horror movie music under this conversation. And he's like, never doubt how much I love you. We'll have a good sleep, and tomorrow's a new day. And in this conversation, he just keeps talking about sleep. Yeah,
go to
he mentions
sleep.
He's like, let's get a good night's sleep. We can talk about it tomorrow. And she's like, no, fuck you. You're not meeting me where I need to be. Let's just sleep on it and have the conversation tomorrow. And so finally, he breaks her down.
Her.
Yeah, he is. He hugs her. She's shaking. He's like, tomorrow we're going to go back to the real world. And she says, feels like you're not meeting me right now. Finally, he does convince her to go to sleep. She's like, you are my person, and there is no doubt I could leave. You're not something that has to be in my life. And he goes, you've made that very clear. And then he goes, now let's try to get some sleep.
Oh God.
She's doing tears here. They get into basically a shouting match that ends with them snuggling. And he's like, I love you. We'll get through this. Get some sleep. That's the final line of this entire thing, is get some sleep. And again, she's just vacillating. Like it's hard to.
He's like my TikTok algorithm. Stop scrolling. If you're on TikTok long enough, it'll keep sending you things that are like, go to sleep. Stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I've never hit that wall. This is the couple who said the homophobic stuff. So you're already kind of like not on board with them based on that. Then you see these interactions where she's clearly trying to find some foothold to either end the relationship or to assume what she perceives to be the control position in it. And it doesn't work ever in any case, because he's just sitting there like, I do love you. Let's get some sleep. He's like, at least on surface level, very rational and kind of like measured and calm. And she's the one crying about, you're not meeting me enough and halfway and all this kind of stuff. And it makes them both unlikable. You just don't. This is another couple that you're like, please don't end up together.
Yeah. And yeah, the homophobia conversation is just like, you can't get past it. It's just like all I'm thinking about. I'm not rooting for either of them to find love with anyone else either. I'm not like, Nick, go get with Kate. Like,
it feels very similar to me. To Bartisa's conversation in whatever season that was with Nancy about abortion. As soon as he was like, I don't think women should have abortions, I was like, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that dude can do now to come back to the other side to make me hope that he winds up with anybody. And so I feel like for both of these people in this couple, for Nick and Annie, they both are in that category. Nonetheless, They're getting their sleep. We then cut to Madison and Joe. They're in bed. He thinks they're back on track. She feels the same way. She loves getting sexy. She missed their sexy time. And they're both excited and thankful, ready to go to Denver. He calls himself lucky. They now love level 4 and kiss. All is forgiven, all is forgotten, I suppose. His maniac behavior.
The maniac behavior.
It was. That was maniac behavior.
The maniac behavior... I was kind of hoping it would come back at the second group hang, but it was the following night. But it does come back when they do the meetup with all the pod squad.
I mean, I don't know, like, if you're a producer on this show, how to even say this? Like, to construct any dating reality format, we're all very aware that it's a lie. All of this is fake. Yes, sometimes a couple will emerge from it that is real, that does love each other, that can have a family and all that shit. But the producers don't actually give a fuck about that. And I think this is evidence this season. Because if you do, like, I'm sure there were other couples that got engaged in the pods that probably had like fewer problems, you know.
That they didn't follow?
Exactly. Yes. Because they can only pick 5 of them or 6 of them or whatever to follow per budgetary restrictions. So I think they picked the messiest ones, the ones they thought were going to implode. And now what you get as a result of that is just this kind of dismissible season where you don't give a fuck about any of these characters, or you kind of actively don't like them. And it's a bad season. You have to have that A couple, even though it's a lie. In the production of it, you must remain true to the promise of the premise, which is we are helping people find love. Nowhere in this entire season do I feel that the producers are doing that.
My ongoing scream this season is that it turned me to Love is Blind France. Mm-hmm. And I won't give any spoilers, but it's a great season, and you are rooting for multiple couples. But it doesn't ultimately really matter whether the people get married at the end anyway.
No, totally.
It carries you through the season if you're rooting for a couple or more couples.
Well, wasn't there a couple too at the end of the France one that is like in front of everybody? They're like, we're not going to get married, but we are going to keep dating. We're cool. I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that's the impression that you get from one of the weddings, maybe.
Okay.
Look, it's a hard way to meet a spouse, no matter what. But totally. There were all of these characters that you like and you're rooting for in that, and couples that you're rooting for as well. Highly recommend. We now get everyone flying to Denver, and we get the first time they get their phones back. People are FaceTiming their family and being like, look at my new fiance. And
if I may interject, we also, for the first time in this episode, and for the first time in a long time in this entire series, we see the Dark Lords, Nick and Vanessa Lachey. As everybody is packing up their shit to leave Mexico and come back to Denver, we get this bizarre shot of our 2 Dark Lords standing on top of a building in downtown Denver.
It hits differently when it's standing in front of the Eiffel Tower versus downtown Denver.
And they're just on top of some random building. She's wearing this thing with these giant puffy sleeves, and they have put Dark Lord Nick Lachey in Neo's Matrix outfit. He is in a black leather trench coat with the collar popped up, doing his hand gestures, talking about now they've got to figure out if the trials and tribulations of the real world will money, will this, will where they're going to live, will family play a part? You got to see. And he's wearing a literal Neo coat. Whoever is doing his fashion styling for the season, you deserve an award. Put him in a fucking Neo coat every time. You should give him one of those little Neo phones. That
it would have been so funny if he just like flies off of the building.
Yeah, exactly. I know Kung Fu. That would have been good. Anyways, I love Nick Vial. I love Nick Lachey.
We know.
I also love Nick Vial.
Oh my God, the Freudian
It just slipped out.
The slip. I'm not a fan of him, but I love level for him.
Yeah, I just love him on a personal level, but no, that's not true. I think he's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. I don't know the guy. I have no feeling about him
if you
personally.
love him.
That's all.
It's fine. Love finds a way.
It's just when I hear the name Nick, the first next word that comes into mind is Vial. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just from our covering the show so much. No other reason.
Yeah. Of course.
Just making sure you know that.
There's no mandate that a Nick Vial clip has to be in Digging Deeper every week.
I mean, you call it a mandate. I just call it a simple request.
A simple request. We see everyone moving into their apartments. Nick is happy for a toilet to poop in, continuing his fool edit of his curly dick and his pipes, loosening up his pipes.
Even that is, it's a small thing, and I guess they're like, oh, it's funny, the producers that cut that shit in there. But these little lines they cut in of him talking about like the grosser elements of his personality or whatever, they don't add anything. They in fact make you hate the character. And I don't know what those producers are thinking in doing that.
I think they hate him.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I would say of all the reality dating shows, it is the most malicious. I'll never forget when they cut in footage of that guy putting eye drops in his eyes to make himself look like he was crying. And they cut that into the game. Yeah. I don't think it was Shake. It was a guy who didn't make it to
Shake was the one where they cut in him going, don't record this or something during the reunion.
And so it's like that idea now is in the document that the producers don't have your back. Quite the opposite, that they will use anything they can to make you look terrible if that's what they deem necessary for, in quotes, good TV. I don't know. This season of Love is Blind is really just like cementing the idea that those producers of that show are the most nefarious. They are the worst of all the dating formats in terms of how they treat players and even creatively. Like some of the stuff they're doing this season is just like, it does not make sense. Like we're talking about all these edits. We'll get to the big meetup that they have, the location that they got for it is like, what? We'll get to it.
Another odd moment that they include comes up here where Edmund and KB are moving into their apartment and Edmund goes, I can fit in those cabinets. And he puts his body into the kitchen cabinets, closes the door, and does a whole scene where he's speaking from within the cabinet.
And Edmund going to live in the cabinet for a short amount of time was my play of the game. There weren't very many good plays. This was simply the most entertaining play to me because it's so out of left field. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't really even know what to make of it now other than to just sit back and enjoy these brief moments that we can enjoy in this season.
It was my runner-up as well. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
We see then Anton and Allie are spying on their neighbors. We see Jordan and Megan Sparkles talk about meeting his baby mama, and she produces tears. And Jordan says, I know you love the finer things, but please don't get my child Gucci. He will be just as satisfied with a stick as $500 Legos. And so they've been kind of talking around that meeting of the family. It turns out we're not going to see any of it. We're going to see her talk about meeting the baby mama and the kid off camera.
Yeah, Jordan uses the word offline to describe it, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
But I'm also like
episode 8.
In this case, you've got this main character whose almost entire persona is single dad, but he doesn't want the child to be on camera. Why cast him?
He did want it. Or at least he said he wanted it in the pods, but he said he had to talk to the woman. But
isn't that shouldn't that conversation have happened before casting this man? That again,
I agree.
His entire identity is that child. And now we don't ever even get to see that child.
I agree, but I'm also I'm okay with them not putting the kids in.
I am too. I totally am too. But then don't come on a TV show where that's your entire identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like saying, Oh, what do you do for work? I'm a professional baseball player. Oh, cool. Can I come to one of your games? No, no one can ever see me play. Huh? That's the whole deal. It doesn't make any sense. I'm Megan Sparkle. Can I see some of your sparkles? No. No one can ever see that. I'm doing sparkles offline.
I don't know. Maybe blur the kid out. I don't know.
I think just don't come on the show. If that's going to be a thing for you, that you or the other parent or whoever doesn't want your child to be on camera, totally fine. I have no problem with that. That's a decision, obviously, that's like for the child's well-being and all of that. That's great. But this is this TV show you're on with cameras that tell the story of you falling in love with a person and integrating that person into your family with your child.
Yeah.
That's the story we want to see. That's the story we're being promised from the guy telling it.
We should see the meetings of the family.
100%. Because that first time she meets that kid is gigantic. If it doesn't go well, it's like, now we're just going to get like a secondhand retelling of that event. That sucks. It's not good TV. It's bad TV. It's not
good TV to just be summarizing what happens offline. I agree. Yeah. Episode 8, we start with Nick and Annie, love level 4ing. We see Joe and Matt out. Oh, and we're having all of these conversations underneath the bright lights of the kitchen, above the kitchen islands. I don't know. It was like a police investigation lighting. I hated it.
Okay.
I'm so sensitive. I hate overhead lighting. And it made everyone look bad.
Yeah.
But Joe and Madison are fighting again. He says he wants her to have more reservations. She's like, sorry, I'm not a negative bitch. And she's like, you knew what you signed up for. I thought you were marriage minded. And she takes off her ring. Ooh, that's a powerful statement.
And again, it's just like, who are we rooting for here?
No one. Chaos.
He does ultimately say, she puts her ring on the counter and he's like, I guess I'll just bottle up my emotions forever.
Yeah.
And this strange and completely unnecessary manufactured argument by Joe was my error of the game. He just got out of the frying pan and has now dumped himself back into the fire. We just witnessed one of like what I think will be historically one of the craziest drunken performances of franchise history at that group party. Somehow he overcame that. I thought for sure that would be the end of it, that she'd be like, fuck this, I'm out of here. He overcame that somehow, got her back into having sexy times, got her back into love level 4 and got her back into snuggling, all this shit, only to bring up this weird conversation that's like, you're not
offline dickmatized.
Yeah, she got dickmatized offline. Then online, he brings her into a conversation about her not being upset enough about things in their relationship. He's just like,
not having
blatantly
doubts.
Picking fights to try and end things.
Yes.
And there's no subtlety in his game here. There is no skill in his game. He is one of the worst players I've ever seen. And this was just like, I couldn't believe he was doing this. After you skate out of some situation that seems like you are donezo, at that point, and also every point prior, you should never get into that situation. But if you do and you get out of it, you're straight and narrow. It's, oh my God, I love you so much. I'm so sorry for that. That will never happen again. It's the show. It's the situation we're in. It's so much pressure. It's so weird. I was just trying to loosen up and have a few drinks. I took it too far. That will never happen again. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. Then if you don't want to marry the person, go to the altar and don't marry them. That's fine. That's a permissible play in this game. What you're doing now is not. And he's trying to set up some justifiable extraction from this relationship.
Yes.
When there's not. The show is you engage and then you go to marriage. That in-between part, which consists of the honeymoon and the going back to whatever city you're from, meetings of the families, et cetera, et cetera. The only way to play that is straight 100%, zero wavering, I'm all in every case.
unless there's like some big bombshell that comes out,
even if there is
some big lie, like
Even
he's trying to make it out of nothing.
Yeah.
To get her to break up with him somehow. And like he's not able to shake this relationship off.
Yeah, he's rumpling. Should we call it that?
He's rumpling.
He's trying to spin straw out of gold here, or gold out of straw.
He is. And he's a terrible player, but I do enjoy some of the things that comes out of his rumpling.
I'm not saying I'm not entertained by it. I'm just not on his side ever, and I don't want success for him as a player. You know?
Yeah.
And there's a big difference in
Madison to leave him yesterday.
Yeah. It's kind of like we're also doing Golden Bachelor right now, and there's a player on that season called Nicole who is a power villain. I want great things for her. She's extremely villainous, but playing it in a way that is like entertaining, and you're kind of on her side, you know. At least I am anyway.
We are.
Joe, I'm not. His villainy is a different kind.
Right.
There's a weakness in it. There's a cowardice in it. It's not a power villain. It's like a villain by necessity, or a perceived necessity in his mind, that he's got to initiate these fights so that the relationship decays and he doesn't have to go to the altar. But it's like, that's not the game you're playing. You're playing Love is Blind. You go to the altar. Then when you're there, you can do whatever you fucking want.
It's an easy breakup opportunity at the altar.
I don't understand how they don't get this. Like you can say anything every morning. You can wake up and tell the other person you're with, I love you more than anything. I can't live without you. I can't wait to have babies with you. I can't wait to do everything with you. This is great. No problems. Da 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 da. You get to the altar and you're like, look, it just wasn't enough time. I'm sorry. This is all weird. I can't get married like this. I would love to keep dating you.
It's too big a commitment. Like, people don't get villainized for saying no at the altar. Absolutely not. That's the bar. That is what happens most of the time.
Yeah.
People say no. I agree. I think it's when the players feel like they can't, fake it until the altar kind of thing, that this kind of thing happens. But it's really tough to watch this dynamic.
I 100% agree. I hate it.
We see then package deal father Jordan showing his sparkleless apartment to Megan Sparkles.
He keeps calling it humble. It's humble. My place is very humble. This is humble. And the producers keep cutting to this shot of his robot vacuum cleaner hitting the walls as though that's his like only luxury item is a fucking Roomba.
He takes her to Luca the child's room, and he shows her this toy that one of the friends of his baby mama made for Luca, this little dinosaur that has its own little like insulin pump in it. And this evokes tears in Megan and was my play of the game.
Well, this insulin pump stuffed animal was my creature of the week. No, this was fantastic. A lot is made in their relationship of the diabetes connection between her deceased father and his living child. And so any little accoutrement, any little flourish you can add to that story, I think is going to help not only solidify the relationship to some degree, but also kind of get us on board a little bit. Like I said, I don't know what it is about them other than her extreme materialism that I'm just kind of like, whatever. I can't quite fully get there where I care about them at all.
It doesn't seem like they will work out to me.
Too. I agree.
So,
yeah.
Oh God. Then we see Allie and Anton, and they both work night shifts, and they've been up all night. And he says, let's do morning mimosas. And they get in this like little
8 a.m.
tiff. And he mentions the words passive aggressive, and she goes, that's you. And you're like, oh my God, there's like trouble bubbling under the surface with this couple that like, but Allie's a good player. She's like, I'm just riding it out till the fucking...
Yeah. And there's all these little things in here where he's like, we should get a bunch of sweaters engraved, he says.
Oh,
and
she hates this.
She's like, no, I think one Mr. and Mrs. Sweater is enough. And she's like, you're being weird. And he's like, I'm tired. Anytime somebody says I'm tired as a justification for strange behavior, it's like, you're not tired. Something bad's going on here.
Also, like, this is the shift that he works. They are going to be up all night all the time.
Yeah.
So this is just your personality for your married life.
Correct. Getting drunk at 8 a.m. And that also seems to be a thing with her. She's like, okay, yeah, I get, you want to have, even when he suggests it, she's like, you want to have a mimosa at 8 a.m.? And he's like, yeah, we just got off work. No. And she's like, okay, I guess. Okay. But she can feel it building here.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. And there's a hint of problems with the chore load. She says she doesn't want to do chores. And I think it's here that the last time she was in school, her mom did all the chores.
Smart.
Then we see the meeting of the family with Edmund and KB. And we're meeting Edmund's mom, Carrie. And she comes in. She says she's going to kringle KB some beads, but we don't see these beads. I don't know why.
I wish I would have seen the beads.
They do a Christian prayer for the meal. The mom produces tears. She says she doesn't like KB's Instagram and sent it to her friends.
Yeah. But we also see that it's, this whole thing is primarily run by Edmund's mom. She's getting huge monologues. Almost no one is talking back to her until finally KB leaves to go to the bathroom or something. We get some one-on-one time with Edmund and mom. And he tells her that he's the only single brother in the family. It's time to get married now. Mom says the ladies she's known him to be with have been good, but she put in a lot of work into them and she can't just let anybody have them. Talking about the sons. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And this is where she's like, I looked at her Instagram and thought, nah, but after meeting her, I like her.
She says some hilarious shit here. She also says, Instagram. I hope you're going to be one of my daughter-in-laws that doesn't rat me out to my son. So I'm like, what the fuck does this mean?
And KB's even like, no, that's cool. I can keep shit between us. I can keep a secret. If I'm Edmund, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm out. This is not happening. What are you talking? You're conspiring against me? What's going on here?
Like what how, what secrets are you keeping from your son that invoke the words rat me out? And the mom also says you never wanted kids, but now maybe you're ready for a baby. So you're like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. We then see Joe takes Madison to his place. Now, how to even explain this? I've seen conjecture online that this is an Airbnb. And that is why when he says, that's my PlayStation 5, it's actually a PlayStation 4. He doesn't know that.
And why she says it looks like you're in a hotel.
Could be.
Wait, interesting.
I don't know.
What's the point of pretending? Whatever.
She's like going through his apartment, talking about the decorative pillows. There's a lot of love level 4s here. There's a Bible out. He mistakes the PS4 for a PS5. Small closet. He says, here's all my self-help books. Yeah. And she's like, I'm a self-help person too. He shows her his appliances. She says it looks like a hotel. He has one plate and one bowl and one pan and a lot of meat in the freezer. And she says it's giving Dahmer. I don't know what to make of it. This man is made more strange by this. There is now more questions I have about who is he? Is this actually his real apartment? Is this a fiction? What is going on here? Is the person who lives in that apartment in the freezer now?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Is it giving that much Dahmer? We then see Megan and Jordan. They go to a restaurant meeting of her family, which is her mom and her sister. And they show up with a bunch of white and gold balloons. It's a big welcome. Megan ITMs that it's the 4th anniversary of her dad's passing. It's heavy for her heart, and her family helps. Huge meeting her fiance at this moment, and she knows her dad is there with them. The mom jokes about Jordan's sleeve tattoos, and they talk about his son a little bit, and he jokes and he says, "Oh, my son is 17 years old." Ha 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 ha. You see, it's a very good dad joke. Then Megan Sparkle talks about Luca having type 1 diabetes. Mom tears, sister tears. Sister had a dream that their father was talking to her saying, "This guy's son," meaning Jordan, "is just like me." Is this premonition? Is this prophecy? Or is it just reality affecting your dream? I don't know.
I think it's a good play.
Dream play?
Either way.
Dream play is so underutilized in all of our beloved games, and it's highly effective. You can use it in situations like this to bolster up a relationship, to corroborate some spiritual connection that might be implied through a prior conversation or whatever. Give the dream blessing
from the dad.
A dream blessing from the dad. You can also use it very strategically. Let's simply say you're in a situation where you get some intel, maybe from producers, about other players saying shit behind your back, trying to tank your game. You can go directly to that player and say, "Hey, this is super weird. And this is coming out of left field, but last night I had a dream that you said, whatever the shit talk is. That's crazy, right?" And watch their reaction. It's a high-level play. Only high-level players can carry it off. Okay. But they've done it. Maybe you'll see some of that in the near future.
Oh my God. Dream investigation play. Not enough of that.
It's a way to float an accusation and not even do the accusation. It happened in my dream. I don't know if it's real. You tell me. Is it? It's perfect. It's like a I remember reading some comic book a long time ago where a guy killed somebody with an ice bullet, and so the bullet melts, and there's like no evidence. That's like what a dream accusation is like, in my opinion. Oh my God. You get to launch an attack with no evidence of the attack.
It's so weird. I had a dream that you were like mixing pills with your alcohol, and you said that you normally like thin girls. What do you think about that?
I had a dream that you were trying to pick up a very skinny woman in an alley in Mexico while you were buying an 8-ball from a drug dealer. Is that a dream, or why am I having that dream, Joe?
By the way, someone does get in trouble for trying to pick someone up mid-season on Love is Blind France. Breaking the rules.
Yeah.
I thought this was a great play. Great, doing the meeting of the family on the 4-year anniversary of the dad passing. The dream sister, dad, dream blessing. And the mom gives a blessing. Just tears everywhere.
And they do find time here to cut in a little moment where Jordan doesn't know what burrata is. Once again, they're exacerbating the idea that they are from two different worlds. She understands the finer things in life. He doesn't even know what tomatoes are. Yeah. They're really trying to push that hard. He's just a
simple guy.
Yeah. I just eat chicken fingers and French fries.
I just eat blended chicken.
I forgot. Sorry. Right. I just eat crystallized boiled chicken in a blender. I don't know what this burrata is.
It's kind of like, it just reminds me of the character Charlie on It's Always Sunny. Like that Jordan, like everything he eats is just like complete nonsense. Oh, it's like milk steak or something he loves.
Oh, yeah.
We get
just a scene
this.
Of
I
the
am
whole
positive drop. Is Nick's house.
Yeah,
we meet Nick's house. Annie meets it. There's an American flag outside. There's a guitar. He has a man cave in his garage with 1,000 pieces of machinery and tools for doing snow hobbies. He's run a ton of marathons.
He's got a car, a motorcycle, skis, some hockey stuff, medals for marathons. He says he has a 100 gajillion times more medals. These are just the ones that he likes that are on display. He has an ice boat. It's kind of big in the garage. And so naturally, he says, I'm a size queen. Naturally.
Oh my God. Another, like, an infamous line that Clues and I then said in every GOR afterwards.
It's just stunning.
I'm a size queen.
You know, there's a lot of conjecture about a lot of things about Nick online currently. Let's just say that line, I'm a size queen, is certainly adding to one camp of the conjecture. Let's just say that.
As does what he says next when he presents, here's my virginity corner. And it is a race simulation machine that he has built himself.
You know what? I'm currently sitting in my virginity corner.
You do have a virginity corner.
I've got a camera and lights set up. This is where I talk about reality TV for fucking 10 hours a day.
With all of your little... like statues and stuff.
Yeah, this is also where I construct my Magic the Gathering decks. Look, I don't begrudge the man his virginity corner. We all have
Everyone can have a virginity corner.
Yeah.
That's just, you know, where you go to be your most self. Annie is like, how can I make you leave? You clearly love the mountains and all this shit and this house. But they kiss. They love level 4 each other. It's going to be fine. We can have 2 places. We then get the Joe and Madison meeting of the family, where we are meeting Joe's family, his dad, his mom, his 2 sisters, and I believe his stepfather. And they kind of grill Madison a little bit. How did you react to him having a previous engagement? She doesn't care. And the sister gives a glow.
Yeah, this goes fine. We get a glow here, essentially a blessing. They all cheers to love being blind. Not much here. This was kind of a bland meeting of the family. It wasn't like great. It wasn't bad, whatever. Then we see on screen 15 days until wedding. We are now with Anton and Allie in their meeting of the friends. The friends they are meeting are Anton's old drinking buddy and his girlfriend for the past 4 months. And the drinking buddy basically says like, hey, I get it. Time is irrelevant. We met each other and moved in the next day and it's working out great. And the guy launches what attracted Allie to Anton? And she says interest in hobbies. Anton brings up that they both worked at McDonald's and talks about, then the friend is like, oh shit, we used to work at McDonald's together, bro. We used to shut the McDonald's down and go get drunk. And Allie's like, is the McDonald's owner like, what? So he's already backtracking the story of alcohol abuse and irresponsibility to when they were kids working at McDonald's, basically.
Anton using this moment, his meeting of the family, to bring this friend who will destroy his game was my error of the game.
He did choose him, you're right.
He picked him as the one friend to represent his family and friends. And obviously he didn't seem to really know the new girlfriend and know what she would do. But the friend alone brought up 1,000 drinking references. And
so many.
And was just taking him down at every second. He doesn't snort. Yeah. Yes, he does. And you're like, okay, so maybe during his normal lifestyle, when he's partying all the time, he's snoring. Like, oh God, it was, this was a very entertaining meeting of the friends.
Yeah, they talk about speaking Spanish. The women go to the bathroom and the guys are talking and the friend's like, do you really love her? And he's like, it's crazy to say this, but I loved her even before I saw her. And the friend's like, well, she seems like the type of woman you'd want to marry. And if she says yes, Anton says he'd be the happiest man on earth. And then the friend's like, oh, I hope it works out. Then we cut to the bathroom and we're not in there with cameras, but of course they're mic'd. So we hear what they're saying. And Allie asked the woman, the buddy's girlfriend, if Anton was ready to get married before all of this. And then we come back to the guys. And the guy friend says, respectfully, I would have given you 2 weeks. Then we see back in the bathroom, the girlfriend says, Anton and the guy friend like to go to strip clubs. And Allie's like, wait, what? I don't think that's appropriate if he's in a relationship. And she's like, no. This is when they were single. And Allie's like, you guys have only been dating for 4 months, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Anton was single 3 weeks ago.
And she basically puts together this picture that Anton and this dude are just fucking living at strip clubs, mainlining alcohol, never not drunk or in strip club, basically.
Yes.
And so Allie comes back to the table.
No holding back.
Yeah. You didn't know they lived in an apartment together. They lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with no kitchen immediately above a strip club. You didn't hear about that?
Allie's like, oh yeah, Anton told me his friend was a big party guy, not him.
Yes, tries to put it off on the friend. That's always going to bite you in the ass. Allie then comes back to the table and says, you're in trouble. We have to talk about this later. And that's the cliffhanger of episode 8. We begin episode 9, not with that conversation. So that's that. We're just going to let that one sit there and get no resolution.
Yeah.
Megan and Jordan are at home. He makes a smoothie for her with chicken and Crystal Light and blends it. She gags when she smells it. He chugs it and also gags, making me believe this is all for show and not real.
It's so odd.
Yeah.
But it's not like villainous. So I think it's actually a good play. I feel like this is like a good way to get memes.
Okay. Fair.
Feeling like you eat this weird thing. They are going to go look at houses together. We see the Nick and Annie meeting of the family, which is Nick's family coming over. And his mom keeps saying over and over, Nick, you're a sensitive boy. And she produces tears, gives her blessing to Annie. Pretty straightforward meeting of the family. We see Allie and Anton preparing for the Pod Squad meetup tonight. And
hang on a sec. I think we skipped Megan and Jordan looking at the house.
Okay. Yes.
So they go into this giant house. They're looking for a place to live. And she is basically ITMing that having a nice house is important to her, something that she doesn't skimp on. And then she's like, actually, I don't skimp on anything. And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You could even just cut that little thing off the end and it would make her less sinister. Just say like, I don't skimp on my houses. Fine. Actually, I don't skimp on anything. She's Thurston Howell III, if that means anything to you.
Just going hard at the princess archetype.
Yeah. So they meet this real estate agent and they're talking about, what is this house? She says her price range is 1.5 to 2 million. And Jordan is like, this is beyond anything he's ever thought of. The house they're in is 6 bedrooms in the 2 million range. Jordan says, what will we do with 6 bedrooms? And the real estate agent's like, a lot. You could work out in one. You can have guests over. You could turn one into a wine cellar. You could use one for crafting. One can be the cat's room. This is just my own mind, what I would do 6 bedrooms in.
A virginity corner.
Yeah, you need a virginity room. You need a size queen room. When Nick comes over, you got to have a giant kayak hanging in one of the rooms. Jordan doesn't know what he would use the space for. They see the tub, a big closet, basement bar. It's this giant kind of mansion-y type house. And Jordan says he could move in and not change a thing. And he's like, I don't want to be a financial burden to you. I bring nothing to the table. And she's like, I can get $1.5 million from my LA house to put into this. And he's like, it's too much house for what we need. And he ITMs that he feels like a mooch because she's buying this house for him. He's always been the provider, but he doesn't want her to step down to compromise on what she wants in life. So they kind of have set up this, maybe it's going to be a problem that he feels like he's not the provider, but she's the breadwinner or the big house, or there's a little bit of a mismatch. But also, if you put yourself in his shoes, it's like, yeah, dude, you'll get over that feeling night one living in your new mansion. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's going to be the problem on his side. Yeah. But the whole time I've been really skeptical once we learned that she actually lives in LA and is basically just crashing at someone's place in Denver. I'm like, is this real that she's really going to move to Denver. We get this scene setting up the Pod Squad meetup with Allie and Anton, and they're just tense all the time. Their scenes together. Not an overt fight, but Anton's like, there's going to be a lot of flirting. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, the singles, of course. And she goes, you can flirt. Do what you want.
I'm not your mom. That's a trap she's setting for him. He better not flirt. That's her being like, do whatever the fuck you want. See how I react.
Yeah.
This is a scary play. It is an open bear trap that she is setting right in front of him. And if he keeps walking the direction he's walking, he's going to lose a foot. That's what's going to happen here. So they go to this place called Stampede. It is a giant warehouse with a mechanical bull in it. The couple show up, and there are too few people in this room by about 500 to make it look like anything other than 5 people in a giant bar that is completely empty. It's so strange.
It is. It makes me feel more like this is an experiment on these people than anything that they've shown so far.
Yeah.
I do not understand this choice at all. Like, to have the riding the bull, like cowboy bar energy, like you need more people there. Otherwise, it's so odd.
Yes. Edmund gets on the bull. He rides it. And we get this kind of like fun time montage of him riding the bull with upbeat music. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? It's creepy. I can only imagine it's cold as fuck in there. You can, at least in my head, I'm imagining the air conditioner's on full blast and you don't have the body heat of like people on the dance floor to,
Plus they probably got like bright lights and shit set up.
It just wasn't inviting. We see the ladies.
Bull in the empty warehouse was my creature of the week.
Nice.
We see a lot of people ride it.
You know what? I'm going to say this bull in the empty warehouse was my
Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week.
Interesting.
I felt bad for the bull in a way. Yeah. It was kind of like it was disrespecting the bull.
It was.
That bull is the center of a giant bar that I'm sure on Friday and Saturday nights in downtown Denver pops the fuck off.
Yes.
That bull is a superstar. It's
probably so fun.
This was an insult to that bull and that bull's reputation in Denver.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I agree. We then get Megan summing up some offline stuff that happened. She met Luca's mom, not on camera, and she is going to meet Luca on Friday, not on camera. Just what you want.
Yeah.
We get
most of our relationship happened offline, but let us assure you everything was great, no problems.
Yes. We see
Allie is talking here to the other ladies, talking about the strip club problems. She wonders if she can trust him. And she's like, he has beers literally after work every day. I don't want somebody who drinks that much. So the lifestyle thing is starting to creep in and be a real problem for her. How she'll deal with it, we may never know. Maybe it'll happen offline. Now we get some of the people who didn't make it to honeymoon phase start showing up. Patrick walks in. He's talking about Casey dumping him and not seeing her at all in Denver. Holy shit. He explains that she said it was about the show, but she would never agree to talk to him or call him even when they were off the show. She told him to tell everybody they're broken up. So she already even had a game plan. Yeah. And Patrick asked for the ring back and she said, no, I'm keeping the ring. Just hitting her with villain after villain blow here. And he explains that they have not talked since that moment. And he says it was within hours after the reveal. She didn't even give it a day and a night. He's like, and Nick is like, that's messed up, dude. Even Nick sees the errors here.
When Patrick says she wouldn't even give me the ring back, Joe makes this wide eye, giant aperture face play. That was my
face play of the game.
I don't remember that one.
We see then Kate, Nick's love triangle person, comes and meets him. We see Mike of the tribe come and meet Megan, her love triangle person. Brendan, Annie's love triangle person, joins. And then this lady teaches the people
Yes.
how to dance the country dance, and she was my Jorge Moreno bystander of the week.
She probably should have been mine too, but I just felt
It's
bad for
fine.
the bull.
It's fine. Allie rides the bull. Some people are saying it's hot. We see Megan and Jordan kissing. And then Mike performs a steal from Jordan to talk to Megan. Oh, this was a sad. Every Pod Squad member basically did a sad performance at this meetup.
Yes, sad and bad, generally speaking. I did think Mike's play here wasn't terrible, though. He comes in and he's like, hey, do you want to dance? And she's like, no. Okay, shut him down immediately. She tells him that it's a lot, but it's in a good way. Mike says whenever he sees something sparkly, he thinks of her. So he's trying to get these little rekindlers in there. And he says, I thought you'd be more tacky and not classy. So he gets in his neg. And then she says, you had a good head on your shoulders, and I thought we were not going on physical things. He apologizes for making her cry that one night. I thought this was a strong play. She's like, that's fine. I was hoping for more in that moment because in real life, are you just going to walk away? And he's like, that's fair. I regretted that moment. And he tells her that he picked out a ring for her. This is a 4TRR, like I was really in it type play. And he kind of compares it to the cut of the diamond she has now. And he's like, I picked out the one you would have liked more. And he says he was tempted to DM her, but he didn't want to. She appreciates that. He says that his cocky side was always there. And she's like, that's what was scary to me. She says it came down to trust for her. When she has to be in LA for a week, would he be faithful? And Mike's like, oh, and he goes,
a week.
Yeah, he was like, he basically says, like, I was a good on paper type guy. We're similar. And he's like, do you think you made a mistake? She says no. And she's like, everybody in my life is saying this is the guy you fucking marry. And Mike fully supports their relationship. And she says in the end, they are getting married. Now, he did basically all you can do in this with the rekindlers.
The apology.
He did an apology,
flirting.
2 or 3 rekindlers. And if it ain't going nowhere, it ain't going nowhere. I thought he walked out of this moment having repaired some of the damage he did to himself in the pods, honestly. It's difficult to even say this, but like he's kind of at the top of the mountain in terms of likability after this, I felt like, of all these players, you know.
He's definitely brought it back. And the people that we're comparing him to are performing terribly. So it's like,
absolutely.
It's part of why Megan got my MVP last week. It's just like, by default. And speaking of people performing terribly, we see a meetup that we've been hoping for all season. Patrick and Anna. We see basically he kind of all eggs is Anna here. He says, if you would have stayed the whole time, I would have gone all the way. Like we would be getting married basically. And she's like, yeah, maybe I should have given it more of a chance. But she says it's not fair for you to say this when you proposed to someone else. And he's like, you were my number one. He's like, but you love Level Ford. And she is not giving him an inch on this. But
she does say, I cried when I left because of you and because of Blake. So she invalidates her own argument, which is basically, you can't come in here and say, I was your number one. You got engaged to somebody or you proposed to somebody else. What's the fucking deal? But she's using the same argument, basically saying I had 2 connections too. So it falls completely flat. Everything she did in this performance was to try and make it look like it was his fault that she left, which makes no fucking sense temporally or causally or any other way. And this is like something in this season that a lot of players are trying to do. They're trying to get the other person to like be positioned as the villain so they can be the victim. And it just doesn't work in a situation like this where she self-eliminated, left the show without even telling him or saying goodbye.
No, it doesn't work. And it's like Patrick and Anna not using this moment to rekindle or to at least give us a hint of rekindling that we could check back in on at the reunion was my error of the game. Why are you even coming to this event?
Totally agree.
Like to meet up with your friends, I guess, but like,
yeah.
give us something. I thought I just had such high hopes for Anna, and maybe that's the problem.
Same. Same.
And obviously there's other errors, but Pod Squad, this is your chance to shine. This is your chance to at least dangle another relationship in front of our faces.
Yep.
She could even hint that something's going on with Blake. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Her play, it was a very clear-cut path. It's very simple for her. You come in and you say, I am so sorry I left without saying goodbye. The show, like I realized very quickly I did not want to be on TV. And it was just too much for me. What we had was real, but then I heard you got engaged. So I didn't want to step on any toes. And I know you're here to find love. I was too. And I think I found it with you, but like the show was too much. I had to leave and I didn't want to DM you while I thought you were engaged. Now that I know you're not, what do you say? Do you want to give this a real try outside the show? Now, that's the play. That's what you do. He's going to say yes. Now we've got this little narrative we follow. You date him for 17 years until they shoot the reunion. You date him for however long you have to get to that reunion. In my opinion, God, it's hard though, because that's a year.
No, you don't have to. That's the thing. You just plant it here. They'll still bring it up at the reunion.
Yeah, that's true. But you want, if you can have that narrative thread tie to the reunion, you want that. But it is a lot to ask because the show shoots so fucking out of whack between the shooting and the air dates is literally a year and a half.
It's a huge problem with how they shoot the show. And you're just going to have like basically no couples still together. Because you just go for such a long period of time. I mean, obviously there's other errors happening left and right here, but I just had more hope for this.
I agree.
We see then Edmund and KB. Oh God. So it's a group conversation. Annie is saying that Nick is perfect. And Edmund says, wow, I would love to hear, that would be great to hear about myself. And KB loses it. She's like, what? Why are you saying that? And he's like, well, we came in fighting. She's like, you still don't understand why we came in fighting. And they're going back and forth.
She's like, you're comparing us to other relationships. And she goes, admire, don't compare. That was one of my favorite lines of the whole season so far.
It's a good mantra. Admire, don't compare. She like seems to be doing walk-offs left and right, but then not really.
No, she does. She walks off.
She walks off eventually.
Yeah. She's like, if you can't be an adult and talk to me, I can't have it. And he's like, I really do love you. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. I want a solution to the problem. I want you to answer the question. And he says, you might want to, he's like, do you want to walk away? And she's like, why don't you walk away? And then he walks away. Sorry, that wasn't her.
And then he says to the boys, I might die tonight.
Yeah.
Well, she walks off to the bathroom in tears.
And then we see Nick and Kate. He apologizes to her. Didn't know how to communicate properly in the pods. I apologize for not being direct enough. She tries to get a little juice out of this, being like, fuck you. You told me that you loved me. You said I was the only one you loved. Now you're engaged to somebody else. And he's like, I told Annie that I said I love you to you, so she knows about it. I hope in an ideal future we can be friends or at least respect each other. And she says, we're cool, no worries. So he kind of like puts out this fire immediately. She did come in a little hot. She was looking for a little retribution here. He doesn't really give it to her. I thought he played this pretty well, level-headed, cool. Apologies. I've moved on. I hope you can too. We then see the ladies talking about Nick love bombing as he rides on the bull. Nick asks Annie to ride the bull. She says no. She's now cold shouldering him because she saw him talking to Kate. Joe is now talking about sexual positions with Brennan and Nick. And they say Nick is a missionary only guy. Joe ITMs that Nick is a great guy. He could be the best guy in the world. Fucking ain't my guy. But he's great.
This monologue by Joe, I'm sorry, it just made me laugh so hard. He could be the best guy in the world. I don't fuck with him. He won't be my guy. Great hat. Look,
yeah, great hat. He's wearing his cowboy hat. But he's also talking again. About Joe is talking about how Brendan would have basically fucked Annie better than Nick can with different positions.
Yeah.
A strange conversation, but they cut it in. And again, this is like the producer saying Joe is a bad guy piece of shit. That's why they put this in here. We then see Kate and Madison are talking about no one liking Nick and thinking he's fake and calculated. And Madison tells Kate that Joe says he wants to fucking get her pregnant. And then they both love that. We see Joe getting more drunk. Anton and Allie are talking about what they've been telling everybody. He suspects something is off. Everybody thinks Jordan and Megan are going to get married. KB tells Edmund not to talk to her. And we see this montage of everybody drinking and Edmund sitting alone. And that ends episode 9. Who's your MVP?
It's always very hard to choose during this season.
I agree.
But for my play of the game, for his weird smoothie play that I felt like he knew would get memed, Jordan was my MVP.
Yeah.
Who was yours?
God, I mean, I thought a lot about this, and it's very hard to come to a conclusion.
Yeah. I loved Edmund getting in the little cabinet.
I will say for his performance at the big group meetup in the almost empty Mechanical Bull bar, for his ability to apologize and come off as what I thought was the most likable player of this drop, Mike was my
MVP.
And I mean, this is just like, it's because no one else is good in any way. It's just such a lackluster season of boring people doing boring things with occasional pops of humor or whatever. But Mike, I thought at the very least, I was like, I hope that guy finds somebody. When he walked out of that bar, you know, I'm like, he may be part of a billionaire cult or whatever, but
he played it very well, both that and his like being dumped by Megan. And maybe that's because the bar was low for him. But it's very hard to give MVP to anyone because there's just a lot of chaos play.
I don't think
and like if Allie had done an investigation of Anton's strip club stuff, I wanted to give it to her, but she's not really following up on that.
We also looked at their Instagrams as we were watching this, and as of at the time of this recording, which is occurring on Friday, October 10th at about noon, 12:30, I guess. Nobody's over 20K on Instagram. There were 3 players over 10. So that should also tell you something. No one is aligning with these people. No one wants to continue seeing what they're doing on social media. Yeah. What we are seeing on Netflix is enough, more than enough, honestly.
Yeah. Well, at least there's Love is Blind France. I mean, just do LA, you cowards.
I agree. LA Love is Blind, I think, would be a gigantic season. But nonetheless, we will continue covering this one. Next week, I believe there's a 1 drop. I think it's weddings next week.
So there's only 1 episode left and then the reunion?
I think, or maybe 2, or I don't know. I don't actually know. But we'll be covering all the episodes. However many there are, you can watch them along with us in Casa Gore at patreon.com/Game of Roses. We're going to have our recap out next week. We will also be recapping the next episode of Golden Bachelor Season 2. I will not be in this one, unfortunately, but I was in the last one.
Maybe a flashback.
Yeah. There's just some weird montage of this guy wandering around the OC fair in his blue come on now hat. What the fuck? Who is that guy?
So proud of you for getting the document.
I'm proud of myself. I'll try and get, if they ever do a Love is Blind LA, bet your fucking ass I'm going to be in that Mechanical Bull bar.
I thought you were going to say a Mechanical Bull. I'll be in the Mechanical Bull.
I'll be the Mechanical Bull operator
at some point. Tear out.
Jim Carrey style out of the butthole.
I'm here. Well, thanks for joining us. And we also will be starting Slama Season 2 on Casa Gore as well shortly.
Yeah.
Praise be Dark Lords Lachey.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.